Achievement for All, Crucial Conversations for Boone County Schools Educators. So I made this slide presentation for probably two main reasons. First of all, we have made great strides this school year moving towards our district strategic plan goals. Although it doesn't always seem like all of the things that we've learned about or all the things that we've tried or trying in the different schools, it's not completely apparent to everybody how they fit together. So this slideshow hopefully will show that and will give us opportunity to talk a little bit more about what that looks like and what it all means. So there's a crucial conversation right there. The second reason is crucial conversations are so important in times of high stakes change and high stakes decision making, which is what we're going through. We're going through transformative change in education. So those crucial conversations, hopefully this slide presentation will help us to build a muscle in order to really understand and to grapple with some of these things at maybe a deeper level than we have been across the district. And then finally, in the immediate, we need that muscle at the end of May as we enter into our professional development for the outstanding work that Learning Support has prepared for us moving forward. So as we always should, there's our friend Simon Sinek, and he tells us to start with the why. So let's do that. Let's start with the why. So our obvious big why is student achievement for all students. And I emphasize the word all. We know from some of our district data, from some of our achievement data, that we're not providing all students those opportunities to achieve. And that is something that we are working hard on, that you are working hard on. Student achievement for all students, leading to college, career, life readiness for all students. And as you know, that is the center, that college, career, life readiness is the center of our globe, of our sphere when we're looking at our district strategic plan. So we have the why. Now here's the how. Highly aligned instructional system. That's really the focus of this conversation. Getting to a point where we can say we have a highly aligned instructional system. An instructional system like this is very important. It's one of the 9 building blocks of a world-class education system according to the Center on International Education Benchmarking. So we've been modeling our world-class education around a lot of the items and some of the principles that are outlined in those 9 building blocks. That instructional system has to include focus standards. We all have to agree upon what those focus standards are. And when I say standards, I don't just mean state standards. I don't just mean Kentucky state standards. You've heard Dr. Post say on many occasions that that is a bare minimum. And in Boone County, we have higher standards. And those higher standards would include probably our 10 C's, the 21st century skills, cognitive skills, social emotional learning skills, standards for all of those areas. We need to decide what the focus standards that every student, all student, each student in every school will be focused on. So focus standards with success criteria. We need to ensure that we know what it looks like when the student gets there, what a student looks like when they are at Gray Middle School. That success criteria needs to be the same as it is at Camp Ernst, needs to be the same as it is at R.A. Jones, etc. There needs to be common agreement upon what the success criteria is. Indicating mastery for every student. This is our movement into a mastery learning environment for all of our students. So let me take a step back, 2 steps back, 3 steps back, and just say the how again. Highly aligned instructional system with focus standards, with success criteria, indicating mastery of the standard achieved by personalizing learning for each student. This term, personalizing learning, is quite possibly the most misunderstood term in the community right now. Personalizing learning is nothing more than providing an individual student what that student needs to master the standards, period, whatever that student needs. So it might be a focus on what that child's learning style is. It might be the fact that the student needs to accelerate learning. It could be the fact that the student needs to have a little bit more practice in mastering a particular standard. But the chief goal is to provide each student an individualized pathway to get to that mastery. Personalizing learning has nothing to do with a platform. A technology platform is simply a tool to help make it more effective and more efficient when you personalize for each individual student. The personalizing learning is the focus, not the platform. We have the why, we have the how. Now let's get to the what. Learning opportunities that are equitable, accessible, and rigorous for all. If you want to compare or use an analogy that education is like an industry, this is our product. This is an educator's product. I would argue that our product is not creating students. Our product is creating the opportunities for those students to learn so that they can be college career life ready. And not just any learning opportunity, but learning opportunities that are equitable, accessible, and rigorous. I would challenge all of us to have very deep conversations and meaningful conversations with each other about what those three terms mean. What is equitable? Are we providing equitable access to all students in our individual buildings across the district? We need to look carefully at what that means, and we have to come to some agreement on that. And the word rigorous. Rigorous means a lot of things. I would argue that it means that it's a wide range of complex knowledge. It's also deep conceptual understanding of the subjects. It's an ability to communicate, to write well across all disciplines. And then what project-based learning provides in these learning opportunities, it provides that part of rigor which provides the ability to bring together or synthesize material from many different disciplines to address real-world problems, creating strong analytical skills, creativity, innovation, etc. These words in red require us to really, really dig deep and to come to some understanding what those words mean. This is the teacher's craft. This is what I said earlier. This is our product. This is the art of teaching. One of the most common questions I've had all year long is, what happened to understanding by design? Where's the UBD? It is still here. UBD stage 1, focus standards. Those are the overarching understandings. Stage 2 is simply, how do you know when the student has reached that understanding? What is the success criteria? What assessments are in place to make sure that you understand whether or not the student is there? And finally, the stage 3 is what educators, what teachers do in the classroom. That's the creative part. That's the art of teaching. You see that there's an arrow there from equitable, accessible, rigorous to personalizing. That's why we have personalizing learning, to provide equity and accessibility to each student. And I'm going to credit Linda Black with this. When we had this conversation with the principals, she said, where's growth mindset? She's absolutely right. We can't do any of this unless we've established strong growth mindsets at each of our buildings and in each of our classrooms. And then you have there the green bracket. That is exactly what we will be working on at our MAPD. That will be the deliverable. Focus standards agreed upon across the district, success criteria for each of those focus standards, indicating what mastery looks like of that standard. And once we have that across the district, we'll begin working on what you do best, creating those learning opportunities and personalizing them. So I thank you for your commitment. I thank you for your hard work. I'm really excited about the May work. I thank Learning Support for putting it together for us. And let's see what we can achieve together for our students.